I'm here, Sasuke.
Here's a cool touch. Sakura wouldn't actually know why Sasuke's in the hospital, so the camera focuses on his curse mark to show that's what Sakura is currently thinking and worrying about.
Quick, your medicine!
I'm not gonna lie, this guy kinda deserved to be IRL banned, like, he was being stupid. Talking all high and mighty just to have this fit on is crazy.
Lest you forget, your opponent's one of the legendary Sannin.
The best medicines are always bitter.
I like how this whole dialogue is worded. What we know about Tsunade so far is that she's a Sannin, a gambling addict, and also a goaded medical ninja. Kabuto and Orochimaru bring up a legendary Sannin and bitter medicine, giving the viewer just enough hints to piece together that they're looking for Tsunade.
You're the kind of kid who got yelled at in the academy for a lack of concentration, aren't you?
I don't see what that has to do with this.
Yeah, Jiraiya kinda clocked him hard, didn't he? It kinda shows he's perceptive, and further shows he's a good teacher. Although we really shouldn't be giving him a whole lot of credit for realizing Naruto didn't listen in class. I feel like that was pretty obvious.
Anytime that a person's eyes gaze on a blank sheet of paper, they don't focus where to look. The eyes just wander the page. But if you put even a dot on it, the mind is drawn there.
People who already watched Naruto would know Jiraiya is a goated teacher, but first-time viewers might have forgotten it until right here. Cause although we've seen him be an okay teacher in the past, he definitely hasn't shown that in this arc so far. This whole dialogue brings that side of Jiraiya back, and reminds the viewer what his role in the story is.
When you're storing up power in your right hand, make sure that you concentrate only on that mark.
Stuff like this is what makes Jiraiya a great teacher. This is definitely headcanon, but I'm about 90% sure the concentration part wasn't an initial step in the Rasengan training, and Jiraiya just added it. The fact that this is his first time teaching Rasengan, and yet he's still found a way to help the one he's teaching by pushing him in the right direction is insane. It shows he's not a conventional teacher. He's not going off a quote-unquote textbook, which is what makes him perfect for Naruto.
I don't think that's gonna cut it. It has to pop.
It's subtle, but this pop was actually a little more powerful than last episode's, showing that the concentration strategy works. Some of the masks on this wall have clear inspiration from other things. These ones look like they're inspired by Pokemon. You got a goblin mask, so I guess Kishimoto was a fan of Tyler. And then I'm about 90% sure this one's inspired by Sailor Moon, but I can't quite prove it. In this picture, Tsunade has the necklace on, and since this is now the second time we've seen it on her, it's now solidified as part of her character.
It's no use.
This pop was even more powerful than the last one, which shows Naruto's improvement.
Curse you, Sarutobi!
I'm kinda curious on what Orochimaru's actually feeling. Hiruzen described the Reaper Death Seal as the caster and enemy's spirit internally fighting within the Reaper. I mean, I paraphrased a little bit, but you get the point. So is Orochimaru just feeling Hiruzen constantly kicking his arms around? If so, that's genuine torture. Like, Orochimaru probably hasn't slept since Konoha Crush. And on the flip side, Hiruzen is such a hater, like, he's just been smacking him around non-stop.
This training you must do alone. You can attain the level of the 4th Hokage someday, but you must grab it on your own.
This is kind of a better version of what Jiraiya was getting at last episode. This time versus last time were both done so Naruto could actually master the Rasengan. But this time is a lot more in line with the Jiraiya we know later on, and it adds to how the viewer perceives him as a character.
So she went looking for a change of scenery.
Where to?
Tanzaku Town.
Thank you, Kabuto. Very cool.
She may be good medicine, but she'll leave you with more than just a bitter taste in your mouth.
This subtly reinforces Tsunade's personality before we truly see it, describing her as,
But she'll leave you with more than just a bitter taste in your mouth.
is a way to call her intense and abrasive, while also alluding that she might have somewhat of an attitude. Jiraiya described her to Naruto in a similar fashion when they were first heading out, showing that's just who she is, and it's not either party having a soured relationship with her. First off, terrible jackpot. Don't know what we're so happy for. More importantly though, these slots foreshadow what we're about to see. On the first slot, there's a toad on the bottom, and on slot 2 and 3, there's a slug and snake on the top of each respective spot, foreshadowing that the snake will see the slug first, while the toad trails behind. If you want to look at this even deeper, you can, as the slots also show the order we were introduced to each Sannin in this arc. Jiraiya first, Tsunade second, and Orochimaru third.
I have a little knowledge of Lady Tsunade myself. I was a member of the medical corps after all.
We actually already knew this, it was just said offhanded. Kakashi briefly mentions it when he caught Kabuto trying to kill Sasuke. Very cool.
She was the first to propose what's now a very common practice, for each squad to have a medical specialist included. Simple but brilliant.
I'm not hating on Tsunade when I say this, but how was she the first person to think of this? The idea was first brought up during a time of war, if I remember correctly, but fundamentally, the goal of war is to have the least amount of casualties possible. So how did it take a village that long to realize they should do whatever they can to prevent death? Tsunade is just locked in, like, she gets it.
All those who were sacrificed led to the method you speak of. And one only truly grasps the value of something once it has been taken away from you. This revolutionary idea spawned in that sacrifice.
Okay, what's Orochimaru on about? Admittingly, it took a lot longer than it should have for me to understand what he meant, but what I've gathered is that Tsunade only came up with the idea because of her little brother's death, and that she had proposed it so no one she loved would die in war. And although the practice was enacted, it didn't stop the death of the people she loved. And okay, I knew that's why she proposed the idea, I'm not that dumb. I just didn't know that's what Orochimaru was pointing to here. So I guess I'm still stupid. I'm just not yet brain dead.
Well, what do you know? Some gal out there must be talking about me. Jiraiya, how do you do it?
Bro, how many people are talking about me right now? Like, I'm sick as hell.
Something's not right here. Hurry up, we're leaving. What?
Tsunade having this hunch actually does a lot for her character. I'll talk about it at the end of the episode though. It makes more sense. There's cool Will of Fire stuff in this episode. This being part of it. There's still more though, so I'll mention it when we have everything.
Man, I'm hungry.
Sensei, is this lecture almost done?
I feel like a lot of people tend to misinterpret these four as friends in the earlier flashbacks. And while I personally don't think it's inherently bad or even somewhat of a wrong deduction, I personally don't think it's all that true. I think they were affiliated with each other, like we see here, whether that's for better or for worse. Obviously in this situation it's for worse, but I think overall it makes a lot more sense within the story and for Naruto as a character. I don't even really blame people for thinking they're friends either. I just think it's a little more nuanced and not totally black and white.
You're about to take up a custom passed down through generations of the Hidden Leaf Village for sharpening the mind.
Oh, yeah, just like the Will of Fire. In this exercise, you're focusing on the leaf, which is allegory for putting your village first. Quite literally having the leaf on your mind and putting your focus on it first. That's kind of cool.
This is the origin of the leaf symbol that we wear.
Quit pulling our leg.
You sure you didn't just make that story up to get us to work harder?
I mean, he technically isn't. Close enough, I'd say.
Well, I guess there's no use crying over spilled milk.
Okay, how did Naruto do this? There was not enough ink for him to pull this off, like, be for real. Also, we can finally get into the Will of Fire stuff now. When the leaf fell on his head, he remembered the exercise. But better yet, he remembered Iruka and the meaning behind the exercise. Iruka's one of the people who passed the Will of Fire onto Naruto, which reminds him what he's fighting for. The exercise was passed down from generation to generation, just like how the Rasengan is being passed down to him. This reminds Naruto who and what he's fighting for, as he changed the symbol to a leaf as yet another reminder. And since he remembered who he's fighting for, he's become stronger in knowing that it's also for others, and that's what makes him pop the rubber ball. Very cool. We like this.
Wow! Tanzaku Castle sure does have a commanding presence.
Yeah, maybe it's because of the human snake that's right next to it. Just a thought. Stay with me now.
What
is this chill I'm feeling?
Okay, we're getting into it. Tsunade having this hunch for the entire episode actually adds a lot more to her early character than you may think. Tsunade up to this point has been characterized as someone who's almost a shell of their previous self. So showing she still has good instincts tells the viewer she's still strong, and that it might not be that she's a shell of her previous self, but that there might be more we don't yet know about. These are two great paralleled moments back to back. Naruto's been getting closer and closer to mastering the second part of the Rasengan, and this chill she was feeling has been getting closer and closer to Tsunade. At the end of the episode, they finally happen. At the same time. You don't even really get to feel super happy for Naruto in this moment, even though it's a huge step in his training. Because as it happens, you get reminded that there's bigger things to worry about. These two moments actually get paralleled a lot more with the aftermath of them too. For Naruto, we have Jiraiya going to his aid, which is safety. For Tsunade, we have Orochimaru appearing, which is danger.
Isn't that...
Orochimaru.
We get a first impression on these two's relationship by the time the episode ends. Tsunade seems surprised to see him, but also doesn't seem happy to either. That sets up the next episode well. Very cool.
I finally found you.
Orochimaru finding Tsunade first works really well for the story, as it gives the viewer the feeling that Jiraiya and Naruto might be too late, since this is at the end of an episode. I don't know if this is just me, but this episode is almost forgettable, which is weird, right? Like, a lot of stuff happens, it just doesn't seem like a lot happens, if that makes any sense. With that being said, I do think it's cool. I just think it's forgettable because it gets overshadowed. Naruto popped the rubber ball, and that's really good. Tsunade met Orochimaru, and that's cool. And Naruto and Jiraiya are about to head out to find Tsunade, so that's also cool. I could care less for the flashback, honestly. I think the Will of Fire stuff is cool, but other than that, it's not amazing. Weirdly enough, though, this episode's ironically funny. Not even the stuff that was supposed to be jokes, though, just like the dialogue. Anytime Naruto's a shitter, it can be funny, and he's kind of a shitter sometimes in this episode, so yeah. If you want to support me even more than just watching this video, you can become a member on Patreon. And, yeah. Next episode, an impossible choice, the pain within Tsunade's heart. Yeah, there's a reason this episode gets overshadowed, by the way, because holy shit, last episode plus the next one, oh my day, yeah, it's over. I'm sorry.